Welcome to Won't You Be My Gamer? This is the show where we play video games and we try to learn and we bring in an expert to educate us. I'm Elise Willems.
I'm Nicole Zavalich, and today we are talking about cooking, restaurant, food, all of those things, and we're talking about them with the lens of video games.
And we are joined by the famed LA chef, Uyen Lei. Thank you, Uyen, for joining us again.
Oh.
The famed.
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 PBS famous.
Yeah.
You've been on the show before.
PBS famous.
It's great to have you back here playing games with us. We played some Plate Up together before, and now we are playing Overcooked. What does the word overcooked mean to you?
It means refire, meaning do it again. Or it's something's wrong with it. I mean, it's a do it right or do it twice situation. Do it nice, do it twice.
In Overcooked, we don't get many chances to refire, but we do lose a lot of food here.
And in real life,
Oh, we're in
I
a
don't
sushi
really.
restaurant. Okay.
Oh yeah,
so
we're
I
making
have
sushi.
Fish.
Making shrimp first? Which the shrimp is on the right-hand
Yeah,
side.
I love how you're
But I
just
guess you
dropping-
can make both.
Well,
So
I
are
was
these
just looking at-
diners around you and they got cutting boards in front of them? Should we move the cutting boards or they're just right
I
there?
think it's more like a hibachi situation where they're like, oh,
Yeah,
right in front of
okay.
us?
Oh yeah, you want to put that shrimp on that conveyor belt on the side there. Yeah. Perfect.
Because it seemed like these guys were hungry and I was neglecting them.
I
but
know.
Like, I guess that's not
So now you want to bring that fish over to the conveyor belt as well.
dude,
And
crushing
now
it.
you're gonna lay out more fish and chop it in front of people's faces, apparently. There
Yes.
you go.
Yes,
there
good,
you
good,
go.
good. And just like the
This
last
is how
game,
sushi chefs do it.
yeah, you're guiding
You
us
know.
and your expertise is everything.
Have you heard about some of these sushi restaurants now where they specifically plan their menus around like sustainable fishing? And
Yeah.
so they're like, we only prepare sushi from fish that is not, you know, overfished or what's in season right now. I think that's really cool. I haven't been to one, but I would like to be going to one.
Yeah, there's so many types of fish out there, and there's so many types of ways to prepare it. And from a raw application, I think some people have an expectation of it must be this or it must be that. But especially with the access we have in Southern California.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, there's some fish farms too that are trying to do right, and you know, it's just all about trying to find the right vendors who are going to do the ethical thing.
Do you-
It can be really challenging.
Like, is it important to you to incorporate that sort of environmental sustainability into your cooking and how your kitchen works?
I think it's really important to sort of think through how much waste we have. It's also about getting products in, I think, that are really good and trying to reduce the impact there. But, you know, there are a lot of things in a restaurant that I think are just wasteful, generally speaking.
Like what?
People just throwing everything in the trash, for example.
Yeah.
Like we separate it into organics and recycling and trash. And I think a lot of it is training people in order to get, when they're even the busiest, everybody on my team will separate the organics from the recycling, from the trash. And we go through so many more bins of organics and recycling than we do of the actual trash. The other parts is sourcing seasonally. I think that makes a big difference of being able to find things that are fresh, that aren't going to be grown with like an excessive amount of water or electricity because they needed to do it off season indoors or something. But I think there's a lot of little things that you can sort of trim around the edges and collectively, especially in an industry that's so big like in Los
you guys see
Angeles,
this?
we can make an impact. Yay, 3 stars!
Oh my gosh!
Wow!
I mean, I'm not seeing anything about the environmental sustainability of this kitchen.
But what I see is
but-
orders failed.
Okay,
0.
I see that your tip rate is at 90-something%.
And hey,
That's hey.
That's an A.
yeah,
That is an A++.
the Onion King looks happy.
Yeah, if he's happy, I'm happy. Just like your expertise has really helped me along with this, and I am grateful for your presence.
You're welcome. Oh, you were talking to Uyen. Oh, okay. I
was.
see. I see. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I think you're here for moral support.
I am nothing. I'm here for nothing more than moral support. Trust me.
Oh, what are we making here?
Okay,
Hard
so
to say.
Oh, now there's
Oh my
seaweed
God.
involved
More
and
sushi.
rice. So you have to cook the rice. Look, you've got the pots on the burners down
yeah,
there.
you
It's a
you're
whole
asking
other
The
layer.
rice. People are already sitting down and we're cooking rice. This is not stressful.
So you'll have to move those pots off those burners once they start to burn too much.
to where?
To the empty counter.
And how do we know?
See that one's done right there? Got the
Oh,
check
yeah.
mark. To the pandas, right? Oh, it's gonna start a fire in a second.
Oh, you got this.
Oh,
There you
how
go.
many
Okay.
fires have I started? 0. So, seaweed, rice. Rice goes back. She.
Oh,
away.
behind.
Yeah, who are you
dude.
people?
Beautiful.
Oh,
Look at
there
that.
you go.
All right. Well, now I should do that forever.
Yeah, do you change up your menu often?
I do a different weekend special every weekend. So I've been doing it for a couple years. This all goes back to trying to prove to people that Vietnamese food is more than pho. So we've never served pho, but we've served over 100 things of Vietnamese food that aren't pho, not including our regular menu. But I also add some things to the menu as well. And I like to just, part of the professional development for the staff is exposing them to different cooking techniques. So if I'm like thinking, you know, everybody needs to learn how to braise more, or saute more, or bake more, or make an emulsification or something, then I'll think through a dish where they can learn that skill. So you can only learn by doing
Yeah.
in cooking. And so I think through a lot of that, but yeah, we rotate stuff all the time.
Ooh, I did rice then seaweed. Let's just see
Oh,
what,
hey,
let's
that's,
just see
that's
what
one
happens.
way of
Oh,
doing it. No, they're not.
No
yeah,
problem.
no, I didn't make a difference.
Oh, that's a different type of roll.
Yeah.
What are some foods that people might not realize are Vietnamese or might not even know are part of the cuisine?
I think that there's a lot of fruit salads that people aren't
Oh,
familiar with.
I had a delicious, I think it was mango and cucumber salad at your restaurant. That
Yeah.
was perfect.
Yeah, I think adding a savory element to tropical fruit is something that in Vietnamese food we do a lot, and just a lot of fruit is eaten as dessert. Vietnamese food with our French culinary history has a lot of baked items too, like even the baguette and the banh mi sandwich, you know, that's bread, and you don't really necessarily see that a lot from kind of traditional foods in other Asian countries, but that's kind of part of our history, and so
Nicole had the, she had the vegan.
Pâtés.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nicole had the vegan banh mi.
I did. It was also good.
I think that a lot of Vietnamese food too is there's a lot of seafood. I'd say there's a lot of seafood, and there's a lot of like river fish, even though I guess we might call it seafood here, but it's from rivers and lakes, and not from the ocean. And so and a lot of charcoal grilling.
So to add to our tips list, would you say maybe we go the route of charcoal grilling if we're starting our own restaurant and our culinary expertise?
I love the smell and taste of things that have been cooked on charcoal, especially vegetables. I'm all about induction stovetops because the environment, you know, but I didn't mean to, I don't know why I said it like that.
You know.
But you have to extract kind of that charred burnt.
So what makes an induction stovetop different than a regular stovetop?
Well, you're using electricity instead of gas. And so from an environmental perspective, the ability to generate electricity from cleaner energy sources have really risen, let's say solar or wind, in order to create electricity, whereas gas is gas and is going to be a fossil fuel no matter how you cut it.
Okay.
And so if you're using electricity, then you can have a lower environmental impact if you're generating that electricity with clean energy. But from a cooking perspective, you can definitely get consistent cooking temperatures, whereas with gas you'll have some variation. And you can also, if you have the right type of pans, you can really get a nice good sear, and you can keep it and not have to kind of like go back and check on it all the time, because the chances of actually catching fire are pretty low with an induction as compared to gas. But on the other hand, you know, you're gonna find it hard to flambe. You're gonna find it hard to kind of get some other charred flavors in there. You kind of have to think through it a little bit more. But in Los Angeles, the new rules for new construction is that everything has to be induction. So there is no more gas. And so unless you get a restaurant or something that's grandfathered in, then all of your equipment is going to be induction.
Do you find that most chefs in your space, like they're good with this, they're saying okay, or they're trying to get spaces that still have the gas? Like, is there a
I feel like, and this might be my personal thing, is that I think chefs want the option of having the gas and will also supplement with the induction. I think having an all-induction kitchen is probably the wave of the future, but I think many chefs will be sort of reluctant to not also have a gas option. As would I, actually. But, you know, it's something that I've kind of am working to wrap my head around. And, you know, it's always a challenge with cooking.
Dishes.
There's always something. And this is just another element, another challenge to add to it. And how do you use this challenge to maybe create new flavors and stuff?
Speaking of challenges.
Oh yeah, how are you doing,
So,
by the way? We're
I-
playing a game.
I feel
Oh, we're
like
doing
Plate Up had like you got to change the layout of your
Yes.
kitchen and like you can like try to strategize that way.
Oh, but this layout makes no sense.
This layout's
Is that-
It's
tough.
here to challenge you and complicate things for you.
Oh, hey, look,
Ooh.
1 star.
But you made it through.
Yeah, made it through the wilderness, guys.
Good job.
Thank you.
The dog's disappointed. The king's
Yeah.
fine with it, but the dog's questioning it. I feel like there's always this discussion of food connects people, unites people, and you know, you can learn about other cultures and ways of life through it. But I think there also comes to be that economic disparity that people don't realize with food, which is kids can't afford school lunches, or people can't afford to eat in certain restaurants, or live off of food stamps, or now people can't even afford grocery bills. And is that something that weighs on you or you think about a lot with that, the way that food can divide people?
Absolutely. I think that part of the reason why I opened a restaurant, and honestly, I could have opened it in another neighborhood and I could probably charge 50% more, but I'm in a rent-controlled neighborhood and it's very important to me that many of the items are affordable to people on fixed incomes. And also, food is a very personal decision, but people have to make it every day, all the time. Every day, people are deciding what they're gonna eat, what they're gonna drink, and they need this to survive, and it happens every day. And I think that it's very personal. Like, it's like you're doing this and then somebody's gonna put it inside of themselves. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of responsibility if you actually think about it. And so what does it mean to actually do that? Like, what do you put in the food and how much do you charge so that it can be accessible? And so, you know, maybe I'm not the best capitalist, but I think I just have a few different bottom lines rather than just the profit one.
Well, Nicole and I are always trying to be the best capitalists. That's something about us.
What's your
I
mantra?
love the system.
Trains and oil and steam. For some reason we're always shouting about steam. I don't know why. Yeah. But no, it sounds like you think about this stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I opened the restaurant. I see it as us as a social change agent, cleverly disguised as a takeout restaurant. It's my life's work, actually, is to you know, change sort of the conditions, the living conditions for people who are less fortunate or underserved and under-resourced. And I'm choosing food as the platform for that. And I think it's really important to kind of have something small enough I can put my arms around it. I've worked in nonprofits, I've worked for large institutions. So this is the next step. Are you doing this on hot air balloon
Yeah,
now?
I don't know if you've ever had a restaurant in the air before, but you can walk
I've
off.
never had a restaurant
I caused a
between,
fire
like,
in the air.
2 hot air balloons because I feel like the pass is
And it is moving. For some reason, things aren't secured to the ground. Also, Nicole, what's happening here?
If I could tell you, I think
There's
that would.
pasta on the floor.
There's pasta on the floor. There's pasta in the air.
We need to sweep
Now,
up.
that brings us to the 3-second rule.
I thought this was tomatoes.
The 3-second rule does not apply in a commercial kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The minute it hits the ground, it's unservable.
I don't know. I
2
saw
seconds.
Mythbusters, and I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Now, if you can do that thing
I just threw
where
it
you
in.
catch it right before it hits the ground with your clean hands,
Like a Karate Kid.
then you're just an amazing
All
line cook. You know what? In many ways, I think that's what a line cook feels like. When there's like 20 orders on the board and you're just one of you and something's on fire, and then
Like, how do I cook
it's
pasta?
a balancing act.
Yeah, how
you know,
do
it's
I
a
cook?
balancing act, and then you just have to kind of breathe and you control your anxiety, and then at the end of the day you have to remind yourself, this is not brain surgery, nobody's gonna die, these are French fries. And then you just like you sort of say that to yourself and make yourself feel better.
This is not brain surgery. Nobody's going to die. These are French fries.
Exactly.
It's my new
That's
my new mantra.
Yes.
I'm gonna write that down on this. Okay, so Not.
No,
Right.
I just threw the tomatoes.
Nicole, I feel like there's a lot of fire here.
I need a chef's touch. I need a chef's input. I need a chef's guidance. And again, I'm not talking to you.
Oh, okay.
But I would love your help.
Okay,
I would love your help.
And I will expo.
I really feel like
I
you
will
need
expo.
Expo. We know what that means now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There's no conveyor belt on the floor here.
Okay. Oh, there's one over there. How should we
Okay.
divide
I'm gonna
it?
Let's cook
start-
the rice. Cook the rice.
Yeah, I'll start with rice.
You give holes on the rice?
Okay.
Okay. I'll get the shrimp then.
Who's red and who's blue?
I'm red.
Okay. Yeah, you get the shrimp. We'll get that out. You're gonna get the rice, and then now that that's out, let's have you keep on going on the shrimp. Let's just
Okay.
have the shrimp come out. Rice is cooking. That first one's gonna be done. Let's pull that rice.
I got 2 rices ready.
All right, 2 rices ready. We're
bringing-
gonna watch that third one too, or else it's gonna burn.
I'm bringing you some
All right,
seaweed.
let's put the rice on the other opposite counter so that there's room. And then, cool. And then we need to chop the cucumber rolls, but I think they're ready, right?
I'm gonna
One
clean
on the-
some
all the way
plates.
to the right.
Yes, yes. Let's get
Yeah.
some.
I put some seaweed on the counter there, so you didn't have to walk all the way to grab it.
Right there. I think that roll's
Oh,
done.
yeah.
It just needs to be chopped or sliced.
I think it
or
needs
no?
cucumber.
Oh, it needs cucumber. I see.
Okay,
All
but
right. Do we have a cutting board?
they're way over here though.
Oh,
Chop, 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 chop.
lovely. Okay, let's bring that back.
Okay, that's not what I meant to do.
Okay, actually, that's not bad. We just stage it there, and then we'll go around. Boom. That one's out.
Oh.
Let's get.
Shrimp in the sink. Somebody put the shrimp in the sink.
All right.
No one with
let's-
a.
Okay,
it
let's
was
do
me.
more rice, seaweed, cucumber. So let's bring. Can we bring those? Oh, we can't move the cutting boards. All right, let's bring those cucumbers back. We got 2 plates of cucumbers. That's great. Yeah, put them both right there.
Look at this. This is all chopped already.
And then we're gonna put the rolls together.
See, there's a plate with seaweed on it right over there. So if you want to plate that. I got to deliver just some basic shrimp here.
Oh, we do have a shrimp roll, but nobody called that. Nobody ordered
I do
that.
feel like that's not correct.
Yeah, so let's leave that, and then so let's get some seaweed and rice out, and then we'll put the cut cucumbers on it. Plate,
Where are
seaweed,
plates?
I just plated some cucumber on the middle
and then
spot
let's
there.
grab the seaweed and rice from the top right there.
You got some seaweed right here.
And then where's the rice?
I want to get
Oh,
some more
there.
rice.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
There's a rice
Oh
plate
yeah,
here.
that's a rice plate. Let's turn around and then put it on that plate with the cucumber and the seaweed. And is that gonna make it, or do we make it? Put it together.
hang on. There's seaweed over here.
Maybe just it was the wrong order. Wait.
There's seaweed and rice.
Oh, there it is. Let's take the chopped cucumbers. There it is. All right, that one's out. That one's out. Sweet. All right. Okay, Blue, we're gonna chop more cucumber, and then you're making rice. It's almost done.
It's like I got it to that one corner where I just can't access, so we're gonna get new cucumber.
Oh, you can't access it.
Okay.
We tried.
Okay.
I think that was vast.
Better.
2 stars.
2
That's not
stars.
bad.
There you go.
That's not bad. The dog approves.
The dog approves.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
The dog's okay.
An
but-
obvious improvement. Thank you.
but we'll be back with more, and you'll be back with more with us, right?
I
Ewan?
will.
Yes.
Yes.
Where can people find you online, and then also go eat your delicious food?
It's going to be at BEU Kitchen on our Instagram, and we're in Los Angeles, Silver Lake neighborhood, 557 North Hoover Street.
Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and come back because we've almost nailed this.
Yes.
And make sure you like and subscribe to Won't You Be My Gamer here on PBS SoCal.